I want to go into touching on the Waffle House Naked Gunman subject that's been going on. I've had multiple people tell me I should talk about it, and I wasn't.
Yes.
To be honest, I wasn't really that interested in the story, even though it did happen like 10 minutes down the road from where I
mean,
work.
it's really cut and dry. I mean, there's not really much to say about it. I mean, crazy man went in there, shot some people, guy disarms him, he runs away naked, gets caught a couple days later. End of story. But people want to blow this up because this fits nice and neatly into the narrative that they like to push.
Yeah, and that's the first thing everybody did was jump to, okay, whose team is he on? Was he a right winger? Was he a left wing? Was he a Muslim? What
He's a loon. He's a wing nut. That's what he is. He's a wing nut.
You got to consider, like, even in a perfect world, you're going to have the occasional lunatic that's just not right in the head. Maybe they suffered some head trauma or something. I don't know.
Especially
there's not going to be an explanation for every single time something happens, nor is there going to be a solution every single time.
Especially when you are living in a country which has 350 plus million people living in it, and which has next to no mental institutions open because a lot of them were shut down in the late 80s or early 90s because mental problems was stigmatized for some reason. And that correlates directly with the number of mass shootings that we've seen that have been on the rise since the mid-90s. But people don't want to talk about that. That's the elephant in the room that is being avoided because they want to point to the scary-looking object that was left on the ground, which is the AR-15, the dreaded AR-15, nasty assault-like style rifle.
Right. It makes me sick. As a matter of fact, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and comedian Michael Ian Black was talking about how the NRA is a terrorist organization, and he went through this whole train of logic that because of their existence, that they're because they allow this stuff to happen, or they make it possible for people to be able to buy guns, and as a result, now we have all these murderers, and by association, now all of a sudden they are a terrorist organization.
I didn't know that you need to have a membership with the NRA to exercise your Second Amendment rights and purchase a weapon. I mean,
I don't know. He seems really dead set about this, but I haven't yet put out the tweet just yet, but I will be tweeting him soon. Something to the tune of, well, if we use your same frame of logic, then we would also have to ban the DMV. We'd also have to ban anybody who sells kitchen knives.
Planned Parenthood.
We would also have to ban Planned Parenthood, and we'd also have to ban the very government that you're trying to ask for help in solving the problem to begin with. Like, hello. Logic doesn't really work.
Yeah, they don't. They like to say stuff, but not really think about what they're saying. I mean, that's what I've noticed from a lot from the left recently is they like to say things out of gut reaction based on emotion, but they don't really think things through. So that's why it ends up kind of falling flat on their part. So,
well, I mean, to be fair, this guy sounds very well spoken, well educated, which most
postmodernists do.
Yeah, most sophists are. And when you're trying to make a logical argument, it's like they sound like they know what they're saying. And this is completely true of the alt-right and the far-right groups and shit. I mean, this is not a phenomenon that's only on the left. So don't get me wrong. I'm not just trying to bash on the left.
Yeah.
But what you do see is a critical inability to not be able to think. Like, you can't, like the logical thought processes that are required to actually come to some sound conclusion, man, it takes a lot of work.
The mental gymnastics that they exude on a daily basis is astounding on to me, because as a logical thinker, my brain can't think that way, or has a hard time thinking that way. So it's just baffling to me, because I see this man, the Waffle House shooter, he had his licenses revoked, his guns were seized from him. He had multiple incidents where he has had clear psychological breaks. The guy was insane. Yet his father gave him his guns back. His father should be facing the same charges that he is, first-degree murder, and this cut and dry. The laws that were in place were worked to their effect, and the only reason why this happened is because laws were broken. But people just don't get it. It's blah. my brain, it hurts my brain.
Yeah, it's all emotional reaction, and you see this time and time again. Every single time we see one of these shooters, everybody rushes to try to find blame and figure out whose fault is it, and who do we demonize. And it's like, that's not going to solve the problem until we can all get together and actually have the conversation. It's not going to happen. Like, we're not going to be able to make any meaningful change to the laws or to society overall. You know.
Well, it doesn't. It's pretty much my main argument that will take care of a lot of this stuff is have reinitialized the war on gangs, and that starts with changing the mentality of the family. You got to stop the whole single mother, broken family mentality, and then that will end the whole head off into a gang mentality. It's a trickle down effect, because you want to
don't demonize the single mothers. You know better than that. That'll get you booted off the internet quicker than you can say.
Oh darn! See, but I make that argument all the time, that all these arguments are just cookie cutter, multi-connected, shallow arguments where they just replace feminist with racist, or replace racist with xenophobe. It's the same argument, but it all stems from the same problem.
Nazi.